For 13 terrifying days in October 1962, the fate of humanity hung by a thread. This was not a battlefield war. There were no soldiers charging forward. Instead, the world stood silent, waiting for missiles that could end civilization in minutes. Most people believe nuclear war is impossible, but in 1962, it almost happened. And the truth is more frightening than fiction. After World War II, the world split into two rival powers. The United States led the Western world. The Soviet Union controlled Eastern Europe. Both sides feared each other. Both sides built nuclear weapons. And both believed that if war came, it would be total and unstoppable. By the early 1960s, the Cold War had reached dangerous levels. Each superpower searched for an advantage, and that search led directly to Cuba. Cuba sat just 90 miles from the coast of Florida. After Fidel Castro took power, the island became a Soviet ally. For the Soviet Union, Cuba was a strategic opportunity. Placing missiles there would shift the balance of power. It would allow Soviet nuclear weapons to reach American cities in minutes. Secretly, Soviet missiles were shipped to the island, and American leaders had no idea they were already so close. On October 14, 1962, an American U-2 spy plane flew over Cuba. The mission was routine, but when the photographs were developed, everything changed. The images showed missile launch sites under construction. These were not defensive weapons. They were nuclear missiles aimed at the United States. When President John F. Kennedy saw the photos, he understood immediately. America had only days, not weeks, to respond. Kennedy gathered his advisors inside the White House. The discussions were intense and divided. Military leaders demanded airstrikes and invasion. They believed delay would mean disaster, but Kennedy feared something worse. If the United States attacked Cuba, the Soviet Union would respond, and that response could trigger nuclear war in Europe and beyond. Every option carried unimaginable risk. There was no safe choice. Instead of attacking, Kennedy announced a naval blockade around Cuba. American warships moved into position, stopping Soviet vessels. The world watched closely. If Soviet ships broke through the blockade, war would begin instantly. For days, tension climbed. Nuclear forces on both sides were placed on high alert. Missiles stood ready for launch. Humanity had never been closer to destruction. Unknown to the public, the most dangerous moment happened underwater. A Soviet submarine surrounded by American ships believed war had already begun. Depth charges exploded around it. The crew lost contact with Moscow. Inside the submarine, a nuclear torpedo was prepared. Launching it would have started nuclear war. 2 officers agreed to fire. 1 man refused. His name was Vasily Arkhipov. That single decision saved the world. Behind closed doors, Kennedy and Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev searched for a way out. Secret messages were exchanged. Finally, a deal was reached. The Soviet Union would remove missiles from Cuba. The United States would secretly remove missiles from Turkey. The crisis ended without a single missile launched. The Cuban Missile Crisis is not just history. It is a warning. Nuclear weapons still exist. Global tensions remain, and the survival of humanity may once again depend on decisions made under pressure. History shows us one truth. Peace is fragile, and the world has come close to ending before. The past is silent unless someone tells its story. Subscribe and let history speak.